最近关于钢琴家引发的一些舆论，没想到有这么大的发酵。作为自媒体的博主，这几天也收到网上不少对我的恶意网暴。我想在我的立场上给大家讲一下当天到底发生了些什么。我和小伙伴们新年纯自愿的帮助国内一家自媒体拍摄新年祝福。因为当天拍摄内容保密性比较强，及平台的要求比较具有私密性，所以我们任何人都不会对外泄露此次活动内容。包括我当天去拍摄的时候，我也给我团队的小伙伴讲了，这次活动我提前没有告知大家。当场我们等待的时候，并不知道他是在商业直播，对方也并没有在开始前做任何的提示，甚至在开始前他还用手机拍摄了我们所有的人，因为我们当时是为了拍摄中国新年祝福，都拿了中国的小红旗。
Hello, are you from Japan?
No, I'm from China.
但是对方执意说我们是日本人。
There's a load of Japanese people here doing... Can you see them? There's all sorts of stuff. We've got a Japanese TV crew in the station. Hello, can you dance? Can you do a dance? Let's get this girl to dance. Yeah, can you dance? No dance.
Sorry.
Okay, she no dance. Okay. Whatever. I think the British girls are more fun.
并且说我们的旗子是 communist flag，
Because you got a communist flag in your hand. Oh my god.
这个词汇它是具有一定争议性的，这个词并不是很礼貌，但我当时也觉得可能他不懂吧，也没有跟他有更多的一个争执。
We're in a free country. Sorry. We're in a democracy. We're not China. And that's not racist, that's the truth. That's what our forefathers fought.
之后，霍金先生开始演奏的时候，我们小伙伴也陆陆续续都到了。原本以为他只是路人啊，来玩几首曲子就走了，一般大家可能就弹个几分钟，但是他就一直占用着钢琴。之后我才意识到哈，这个在后期了，他其实是一个有管200万的博主。我们当时等了大概40分钟之后，我的小伙伴就让我礼貌性的问一下啊，到底他还要用多久？但是并不是说叫停他的使用，我是在他一首曲子结束后才问他的，并不是像他说的中途扰乱他的音乐 Chinese stop his music， 这个是完全没有的。然后我去问他的助理就一直来拍我，那个时候我才意识到他可能说是这个自媒体的博主在拍视频，但是当时没想到他是在做直播，所以我也就问了一下这个能不能删除这一个视频，因为我们今天的内容是 non-disclosable 的，它不是能够提前公开的。然后他一直在问我为什么呢？是因为 Chinese government 吗？如果不删除的话，那会怎么办呢 ？China 会诉他吗？
This is non-disclosable.
It's not disco.
Yeah, not disclosable.
It's no disco.
It's not disclosable.
So we would get in trouble with the Chinese government.
他尝试就是去说一些让我真的就当时不知道我该去说什么。而我的小伙伴们他们看到这个情况，就一个女同学跟一个男同学，他们就过来就问他到底是什么情况。他在沟通的过程当中也是试图去拉我们另外一个女同伴手上的国旗，但之后在他助理的视频里面并没有看到这一步，他们当时就只拍了上半身，上半身你能看到他的胳膊是往他前面去弯的，但外面即便是我们的小国旗哈，我们作为中国儿女也是要好好的去保管，合理的、有尊严的去使用，不乱丢国旗，不损坏国旗。如果见到随意损害国旗的人，更是我们要主动上前制止，用自己的行动去保护国旗。所以当时那个男性同伴他也是比较激动，说了好几次 "Don't touch her, don't touch her"， 但这个部分就是可能被单独剪下来，别人可能觉得哎，这个人是一个应激的一个情况。我们看到内容大多都是具有两面性的，他只发出了他自己检查过的那一面。之后 King's Cross 的负责人也找到我们，说这个人其实是一个常客了。他当天其实并没有任何演出的商业许可证，但是在公共区域做商业用途，以后如果见到他，不会再允许他的使用。同时警察也在极力帮我们，要求他删掉有关我们的视频，但是他在未经我们的允许的情况下，还是把我们的视频上传到各个平台。我想把我所经历的感受分享给大家，愿世界充满爱与和平，也感谢此事件中帮助我的海内外的朋友们，再次感谢大家。因为最近的事情占用了公共资源，我深感愧疚。作为一个在外打拼的中国人，在这件事情的处理上，我确实做得不够好，没能给咱们长脸，还给大家添堵了，真的非常抱歉。首先，我承认我怂过，虽然大家一直鼓励我不要逃避，要讲出真相，但我不能理解的是，为什么要长他人志气，灭自己的威风？一个在海外拥有数百万粉丝，具备极大影响力和话语权，靠恶意碰瓷 民族歧视、制造对立等手段，无下限炒作来博人眼球，赚取关注度和流量，进而实现盈利目标的大 V。为什么会被他们拥戴是钢琴家、是绅士，而我一个人微言轻、身在他乡、举目无亲的女孩子，却要被他们人肉、网暴、谩骂，甚至波及工作？其次，我承认我是在英国学习、工作和生活，虽然我不是男儿身，但却也志在四方。Supporting a friend in helping a Chinese media company to film celebration content for Spring Festival. We just want to sing a song next to the piano.
Ah, okay. Just an innocent Spring Festival video for Chinese media, which has to be Chinese government state-run media, or at least approved by the Chinese Communist Party. Otherwise, it wouldn't even be allowed to air in China. It was also discovered that you were making the video with a woman who's been accused of being a spy for the Chinese Communist Party by MI5, a woman who is connected to China's United Front Work Department and has personally hung around with Chinese dictator Xi Jinping. Did I miss anything there? Where did you first meet Brendan Kavanagh, the man playing the piano? And had you ever heard of his channel before your little confrontation?
We don't know him before, and we didn't know that he is a YouTuber and who has 2 million followers now online. And so on the day, actually we arrived first. The piano was under repair by the time we arrived, and we're waiting for our mates to come. So Brandon went to play the piano first. And like as I said initially, that we don't know that he is famous on YouTube. Actually, I just thought, okay, he's just someone just play the piano, because we see many people, they just go there and play the piano for a few minutes, but he actually he stayed there and for a long time. That's why I didn't come to him to ask him like how long he's gonna be playing.
Ah, so you have a photo of the piano under repair. And I just wonder, did you ask any of the people who were in that photo if you could use their image for your photo? Did you get them to sign a release form where they agree to be in your photo? If you really don't like being filmed, then why do you film others? I'm also wondering if you knew that Brendan Kavanagh was a famous YouTuber, and if you did know, would your group have acted in the same way? I don't think so. Would you have even approached him? I mean, wow. 2 million subscribers, and it was on a live stream. I guess this is a great lesson never to mess with anybody until you actually know who they are.
Stop touching her!
Also, when you initially approached Brendan, you didn't even mention at all that you were waiting patiently for the piano. You instantly went into this whole "you can't film us" little routine that you were doing, and now you are famous for it.
Did you, I will see, because we're here film for Chinese TV as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, did you film us, all of us, in your cameras?
I don't know. Are we allowed?
No.
We're not allowed.
So, why did you ask him to stop filming you?
Yeah, there are a few reasons. I didn't really stop him filming or anything like that. And you can see from the video that actually I'm polite, and I went there politely, and then I just want to clarify with a few questions with him. And so the reason why he make us a bit uncomfortable, you can see initially that we're happy and like we're playing pianos as well, but after that Brandon called us Japanese, and then my friend actually corrected him. We're Chinese, we're from China, but he still keep calling us Japanese, and so this is actually really uncomfortable for any of us, right? Yeah, you're from Britain, you correct him that you're not from other countries, but he still keep calling you that. And second of all, while he was playing the piano, he was trying to get one of our lady to dance. After we rejected him because we don't really feel comfortable initially, and he just said the British girl is more fun. And this is not a fair comment, honestly. For all women, regardless where they're from and who they are, he shouldn't really, comparing or say things like that.
Yes, you didn't stop him filming, but you did ask him to. And honestly, I don't even think that you're as polite as what you think you were. A fake and insincere smile doesn't exactly mean that you're being polite. And you instantly tried to be all bossy with him. You didn't even introduce yourself, actually. You were just bossy with him, telling him that he's not allowed to film because you were there for Chinese TV. Yeah, because that's a good reason not to film somebody. As if that means anything. It also seems like you actually thought that Brendan Kavanagh was with a Japanese TV station,
But he said you're from Japanese.
They'll put you in.
which actually might be the main reason why you asked him not to film you in the first place, because of your hatred for Japanese people. And it's quite obvious that you dislike Japanese people.
We're Chinese, we're from China, but he still keep calling us Japanese.
Because you seem to be very offended that he initially mistook you for being Japanese, even though that clearly didn't bother you at the time during the live stream. In fact, your friend even laughed and shook Brendan's hand when asked if she was Japanese.
Hello, are you from Japan?
No, I'm from China.
Is she part of your crew?
No.
Anyway, you're now apparently insulted that he kept mistaking you for a Japanese person.
Is she part of
So what? That's only an insult if you hate Japanese people. I lived and worked in China for 7 years, and the locals literally used to point at me when I was walking down the street, calling me a Lao Wai, a foreigner. Now, that was offensive, and I'd be extremely lucky if they called me a Russian, for God's sakes. So, what's the big deal here about being called Japanese? Are you actually saying here that it's an insult to be called Japanese?
Is she part of
Because that is actual discrimination. Not what Brendan was doing, but your hatred for the Japanese people. And your friend did initially dance with Brendan, and it looked like she seemed to be enjoying it. And then a few moments later, when he asked exactly the same thing, your friend gave Brendan the stink eye. That's very weird behavior indeed. And saying that British girls are more fun is actually quite an appropriate reaction for that weird situation. He seemed like he was just trying to have a little bit of a laugh with you, so please just don't be so serious. And I wonder, would you actually have a problem if Brendan said Chinese girls are prettier than British girls? I don't think you would you?
Is she part of
So why even bother mentioning this?
Sorry.
Okay, she no dance, okay. Whatever. I think the British girls are more fun.
Did you even hear him say that British girls are more fun? Or is this just some random reaction from the aftermath of the live stream where you're trying to find any fault you can with Brendan to set him up as a male chauvinist? Yeah, I think that's it. Anyway, that's okay. Don't worry too much about it. What about the whole Chinese New Year filming? What on earth was that all about? Could you elaborate for me?
Point. Yeah, you mentioned about an NDA. Genuinely, we just want the content to be a surprise for the Chinese New Year, especially for our friends and family. So we don't want, this is out already before the release date. And for people who familiar with how TV works, many of you would agree and one shouldn't take the liberty of the content to release before the TV release date.
Oh, right. Okay. So you wanted the content to be a surprise for Chinese New Year for your friends and family in China, but you were worried about them seeing it on YouTube, huh? On a YouTube live stream? But, hang on a minute here. Would any of your friends or family in China ever see this? Especially given the fact that Chinese people in China can't watch YouTube because it's blocked by the Chinese government. Brendan could have been streaming on any non Chinese social media, including Japanese TV, which is what you thought it was, and none of your friends or family in China would ever have seen it because pretty much any foreign media is blocked in China by the Chinese government. So what you're saying there is absolute crap. You were also in a famous railway station, St. Pancras International Station, a public place where hundreds of people walk around filming things, and you were worried about your privacy? Did you ask any of the people's permission around you when you were planning to film your little Chinese New Year video for the Chinese government? Did you ask any of them if they wanted to be in your video, those people in the background? I don't think so. Anyway, you mentioned him calling you Japanese repetitively, and he did say he was referring to another film crew. Was this just some kind of a misunderstanding? I mean, is there any more nonsense that you could possibly say to make Brendan Kavanagh look like this mean racist bigot and try to defend yourself and make yourself look like this poor innocent little Chinese girl?
If you rewatch the part again, he asked, "Are you from Japan?" And we said, "We're from China." Then the other friend, I think his name is Jim from a Japanese production company, and he also clarified, no, they're Chinese. And I work for the Japanese production company. So I think he should have aware that we're not from Japan. Now, if he's misunderstood, he come to us and ask one of our girl to dance with him. We don't want to dance with him, and then he still said British girl is more fun. So like both things make us feel like he's not like nice person.
Once again, who actually cares if he thought that you're from Japan or not? Even though it's already been cleared up a million times that it was just one big misunderstanding. You didn't even hear him say British girls are more fun. You only saw it on the video after the event took place.
Whatever. I think the British girls are more fun. There we go.
So why on earth were you guys still rude to him? Why did the guy you were with shout at Brendan and accuse him of being a racist?
We're not in communist China now, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is racist now. We have yeah, because this is a reason he's being racist and calling us communists and all that thing.
I'll tell you why. Because he was doing anything he could to make Brendan Kavanagh look bad, which is exactly what you're doing right now.
He's got a Chinese flag there.
It doesn't matter.
Show me the Chinese flag.
Why you're touching her? Stop touching her! Don't touch her!
Anyway, I've got another question for you, and I don't think you're going to answer this because you've constantly been playing the victim right from the start. But it is an important question, and I'm going to ask you anyway. So, do you work for the Chinese government? Because when I think about it, it's not really that obvious, is it? I mean, it's not like the evidence is just straight in my face. You were hanging around with an accused Chinese government spy by British intelligence. You were waving your little communist flag around and acting all authoritarian and actually planning to film for Chinese state-run media. But it's not really that obvious that you're working for the Chinese government. And saying that, I once saw a man wearing a balaclava with a stripy t-shirt on, and he had this massive sack that he was carrying with the word swag written on it, and it was 2 a.m. I opened my window and I looked out and I saw him standing there with a ladder right next to my neighbor's window, going into my neighbor's window. I looked out there and I said to him, "Hey mate, what are you up to?" "Oh, I'm just here to clean the windows," he said. So fair enough. So do you work for the CCP?
Absolutely not. This is a false accusation. How come somebody say a Chinese person and then they're a communist and they're from Communist Party and then they work for Chinese government? I studied in Britain and I worked hard to create my own company here. Right now, I help overseas international students get their dream job offer.
Well, as I've already said, when you're waving around your little communist flag and then barking orders as if they were straight out of Xi Jinping's thought book, and then later on we find out that you were working for state media with an accused spy for the Chinese Communist Party, and you have provable links to the Chinese Communist Party through Chinese government entities such as the Confucius Institute, then yes, we can guess that perhaps, just maybe, you are a member of the Chinese Communist Party, or at least you're likely to be doing their bidding. So your job has nothing to do with the CCP, right?
Where Chinese, not Chinese, has to, all work for Chinese government.
Yes, there are lots of Chinese people in the UK who are not linked to the government, but something tells me that you're not one of them. And I have another question. I wanted to ask you about how has this affected you personally?
I feel quite helpless and scared of going out and scared of putting my voices and my face out because there are so many trolls on the internet attacking me. And I have received a lot of criticism and threats. People, ask me to die.
Well, I'm afraid that's what happens when you carry on playing the victim, which is what you've just done right from the start, especially when it's you that's in the wrong. You could have just walked away from this situation, but you chose to instigate, and now you're far too stubborn to even admit that you were wrong in the first place. And you just keep digging yourself deeper and deeper into this miserable mess that you've created for yourself. You've been making false accusations against an innocent man, calling him racist, calling him a bigot, a male chauvinist, just because he wanted to film his live stream and not be told that he can't film in public. And now, to top it all off, you're even threatening legal action against him. Brendan absolutely did the right thing when he didn't cave in to the pressure from you telling him to delete this footage, because now we can clearly see everything that happened. If it was just his word against yours, then I'm kind of worried that people might actually believe your crap. But luckily, we saw it all live, unedited, unfiltered, and the camera never lies, baby.
Thank you, Luke. Thank you for interviewing me.
Stop touching her! Don't touch her!